So after we came up with the design, we wanted to make sure that we had a design and product that was very safe and actually help and improve the lives of the infants. So we made sure that we ran a lot of clinical testing. And it's very, very critical because mothers are entrusting us with their babies, their most precious item. And we wanted to make sure that we actually helped them. So we spent years doing clinical testing. We're still doing clinical testing. We finished up the majority of it, but we're always ongoing to making sure that this product gets better and better and better. And so these are some of the babies we put in. I'm very proud to announce that we have a paper published by the American Academy of Pediatrics, and we put this in 3 different sites in India, and we put over 500 babies in our device, and they're all doing very well. So now we're at the phase where we need to distribute it. So developing a product that is catered to the poorest of the poor is very, very hard because distribution channels are not set up. So you have to have a very interesting distribution model to get the product to the people who actually need it. And so what we do is we utilize 3 different distribution channels to actually get that product out there. And it's using private clinicians, using governments, and then NGOs, large NGOs. And hopefully we can target these 3 channels to actually get the product out there. So here's some pictures. So we officially launched back in April of this year, and it was one of our proudest moments actually getting the product out there. And that's actually the first baby we put inside. And since then, we've been actually taking the product and distributing it to all the different clinics and hospitals within India. So here's some pictures of the typical hospital, the typical scene of what it's like where I live. As you can see, the hospitals are very, very small. They're usually private, and they don't have a lot of equipment. And the response has been really, really great. So we've talked to all these doctors, we've talked to all these different hospitals, and they all really, really like the product. They all say there's a need. So it's very, very encouraging. I'm not going to read through all this, but it's all good stuff. But I want to tell a little bit about the people you impact. So I've been working on this for 3 years, and it's very, very tough because you work in a lab and you work on engineering all the little details. But once we finally got out there, it was the most rewarding experience in my life because you get to work with these mothers who don't have anything, and when you help them, it's an interesting feeling, and I can't explain it, so I kind of encourage you to go out there. But this was one of our first mothers, and I went to the hospital. It was a government hospital, the biggest hospital in Bangalore where I live, and they have nothing there. It's amazing. They have hundreds of beds, but there's no equipment. And so we went there and we started working with the doctors and giving them the product. So when I was there, this mother came in. She was very, very sick, and she gave birth to a premature baby. And they put the baby in the intensive care unit, and they put them in the one incubator that they actually had. But what happened was the mother didn't even see her baby for about a week. So the baby was eventually transferred into our device, and we put the baby next to the mother, and this was incredible because this is the first time she actually saw her baby in this picture for 7 days. So that kind of highlights why we created something that was very, very portable, because it's very important for a mother to have interaction with their baby. So this was another hospital. This is actually about 2 hours outside from the city. Another hospital that had nothing. This story, it was about a mother who also gave birth to twins. So these are twins. And when we went there, we brought one device to just get interest from the hospital. And immediately, the doctor loved it and put one of the twins in our device. And then the mother came up to me and asked if I had another one to put her other baby in it. It was very sad that I didn't, but it just kind of shows the interest that they have. So this is another hospital even further out, and this is an interesting story because this mother, she lost her first 2 babies actually because she gave birth at home. And giving birth at home is actually a very bad idea because you don't have the health care and you don't have the training and you don't have the hospital to do that. So her first 2 babies died, unfortunately. And so she saved up all her money for about 2 years to give birth at a real hospital. It's actually very expensive to give birth at a hospital. And she saved up her money and finally gave birth. It was a premature baby, but she finally gave birth. And because the baby was premature, they had to put the baby in the one incubator that they had at this hospital. But unfortunately, the incubator was a $20,000 incubator, so it was very, very expensive. And so all her savings was used to keep the baby in this incubator. And the time we got there, she was running out of money. She had, I think, 1 or 2 days left to keep the baby in this incubator. So we came in and we offered this solution, which was very cheap and allowed her to actually afford to put her baby in this in our device. And she didn't run out of money, and so she was very, very happy. This is another mother in another hospital, the same one actually, who also, similar story, gave birth to a premature baby, and she was also very, very sick. And this just shows how close the mother wants to be to the baby as they're recovering. This is a picture of our smallest baby. So this baby was in that government hospital where they had nothing. And it was very sad because they were going to let the baby die. It was 800 grams, so it was about this big. And they ran out of facilities to put the baby in. And they were just going to actually leave it. It's very sad, they have boxes where they put babies to actually kind of die. And we came in there and we said, no, try our device. And they put the baby inside. It was this big, but they put it in for a week, and it grew and got healthy, and eventually it's doing very, very well right now. And finally, this is a picture actually in Africa, in Somalia, of our device being used in a hospital over there. There's a big famine going on in Somalia right now where there's basically no food, and because of that, there's no resources, and mothers are giving birth to babies that are premature. And so what we did was we sent our device over there and got it out there. So it's a very proud moment for us as we expand outside India and go into other countries. So here's just an example of all the different places and all the different regions of people asking for a device. And we're trying as hard as we can to actually get it out there as fast as possible. But as you can see, it's a worldwide problem. And it's good that there's programs here in China, and there's social entrepreneurship interest all over the world, because like I was saying when I first came up, it's a worldwide problem, and all your solutions that you come up with can be used worldwide, and you have to think globally if we want to solve some of the world's greatest problems. So one thing I want to highlight here is the social impact. So when I first started this company, I was wondering, why do something to help actually save babies? Because the world's population is growing, and it's growing bigger and bigger and bigger. So why make that problem worse? Why increase the world population? But when I did a lot of research, I found out that if you actually help babies when they're very, very young, and you help them survive, mothers tend to have less babies. So that actually decreases the world population. And so there's many stories and studies that have shown this, but that got me really interested in actually working and tackling this problem. And the other long-term social impact that we're trying to solve is that when babies are born premature, most of the time they don't die. There's 20 million that are born, only 4 million actually die. There's 16 million that grow up, but they grow up very, very unhealthy, and they grow up very, very sick. So when they have babies, their babies tend to be premature and very sick too. So if you can help babies when they're very young, you can break the cycle of poverty, and their actual socioeconomic status goes up. So these are some of the main motivators and long-term goals of the company. And so here's some of the progress we have right now. I like to say we started about 3 years ago with just a concept. We've grown the company, we've done our clinical studies, we've done all our different regulatory filings to make sure that we have a safe and efficacious product. And now we're out putting as many babies as we can in this. So how you can help? I was asked, we are a nonprofit, so we rely on donors, we rely on volunteers, we rely on a lot of the support from the community. And so we always look for volunteers, we're always looking for introductions to people that can donate, or you personally can give. And Our device costs about $200 US. They're, on average have been put 35 to 50 babies, so that's only a couple dollars per baby. That can actually save a life. And finally, like I said, I couldn't do it without the support and help from my teammates. So this is my team in India. It's a little dark, but it's about 30 people in the company now. We're all really working hard. Every day we go to the office. Every day we have one common goal: to change the world, to make it a better place, and to really make impact. So I want to thank my team too for doing this. So, thank you.